Hi, and welcome to another video on the Mr. Colt 45 ACP channel. Today I'm going to do a video that's a little bit different than what I have been doing, and this is a video that will be about some World War II items. Now the picture I'm looking at here is just a small example of some of the World War II memorabilia I've collected over the years, and I don't have a lot, I have a few items, but anyhow, this, I find some of these on eBay, some in garage sales, antique stores, things like that. But this picture right here is of Platoon 54 with E.G. Gamber as the company commander, Norfolk, Virginia, June 9th, 1934. I've always enjoyed meeting veterans and hearing their stories of their military service, and over the years I've met several. And while I had a trip to Europe, I was fortunate to go in 1990, and when I was over there I stayed at a bed and breakfast in Dublin, and in this bed and breakfast I met an old gentleman by the name of Alfred Harrington. He was there with his wife Vivian, and I suspect Alfred was pretty much at the end of his life. He was in pretty poor health at that point in time. He was, as I said, wheelchair bound, and I met him and I got to talking to him in the library of this bed and breakfast, and we speak for about an hour a night, and I saw him I think like 3 nights. It was really interesting to hear some of his stories. Now I'd found out that he was a Canadian infantry soldier, and he had fought his way through Italy in 1943 to 1944. And he told me some of the stories of things that happened along the way. And one of the stories he told me was rather gruesome. It was about one of his comrades, one of his brothers in arms, and how he wanted to capture a pistol. He was obsessed with capturing this certain kind of automatic pistol, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember what it was. And I know it wasn't a Colt 1911. But anyway, he'd finally captured this, and he tucked it in his waistband, and as they were leaving a cafe, the motion of stepping down the steps jarred this thing, and it went full auto, and it killed the guy right there on the spot. And just what a horrible thing to have happen right in front of you, a friend of yours die like that, but so senselessly like that. But anyway, it was just one of the many stories he told me. And he told me that he still had some captured items from his campaign through Italy. And when I got back home, I was in Europe for about a month, and when I got back home, I had this waiting for me. And this came in the mail. And as you can see, it's an old German belt. I'll stretch it out here. It's a waist belt. And there it is, clasped. And anyhow, it came with a letter, and the letter says, after a long search, the old German belt turned up after being out of sight for years. Finding the belt brought back many memories, most of them not very pleasant. By now you will be home safe and sound, with a great deal of more knowledge of other parts of the world. I promised if I could find the old belt, I would send it to you, and it seems to be the last of the old war souvenirs out of the many I once had. The belt dates back to Italy, 1943 to 1944. It is hard to think that that was 46 years ago. Well, it was nice to meet you in Dublin, and I had the pleasure of talking with you. Respectfully, Alfred Harrington. And he was quite a nice old gentleman, and it was very nice of him to take and spend the time talking to me. I really enjoyed meeting him and his wife and hearing their stories, and he had a great knowledge of history. He was just a very fascinating individual. Well, I wrote him a letter back, and I thanked him for sending me that, and I told him, I'd hang on to that, and I really appreciate what it meant and everything about it. And then a little while later I received another package. And this package contained this item. And I'm sure some of you are going to recognize what this is, but for those of you who don't, I'll go ahead and I'll read Alfred's letter. It says, "Your card arrived, so glad you got the package. A further search was made and a handheld signal lamp was found. It was used by a guard at a munitions dump, and it contains 3 different colors which are pushed into place by the 3 little knobs on the face of the lamp, one at a time. The 2 leather tags at the top and the bottom of the lamp fitted onto the tunic of the soldier and thus held in place the knob at the top of the on-off switch. The only thing wrong is the fact that I could not find the battery to fit. The lamp is exactly as it was taken from the prisoner, even the original battery not working. Find out the battery capacity and see if you can get it to light. All the best in the coming season, Alf Harrington." And so let's take a closer look at this. As you can see, it's got a couple of dark colored lenses, and I'm sure it's probably like a blue and a green maybe. I would imagine there's got to be a green in there. And then here's a red one. So there's the 3 different ones, and I guess you could use it as a flashlight. Okay, and then on the back side, here's the 2 straps that he mentioned, the leather straps that fasten to the tunic, and there it is there. And then let's go ahead and open it up. You know, it's not in bad shape for as old as it is, so that's what it looks like on the inside. So 2 interesting items. So, and for you, those of you that don't know, it was Canada was in World War II in 1939, and Alfred had told me that he had served all 6 years in the military. So what an adventure! What a thing to witness in history. I don't know if adventure is quite the right word, but regardless, what a thing to be part of. And I very much appreciate Alfred and him sending this to me, and I'm sure he's on to a better place now. Anyhow, I wanted to say thank you to all the new subscribers I've got. I really appreciate it. And let me know if the World War II items and military history items are of any interest. I have access to a couple of interesting collections. I know a couple of good collectors that would be interested in sharing some of their stuff. So let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks everybody that's watching. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.